business is?
It is another week in the books with the On Deck TV podcast. I am Spike Lou.
Man, holla at your boy Animal Brown, Animal_Brown if you're looking for me on social media.
Absolutely, man. I am Spike Lou on those same social sites. I see you got those terrible ass Pistons on. Very unfortunate that's your team.
First of all, number one pick, future Hall of Famer Cade Cunningham. Shout out to you, big dog.
Hey, man. Shout out to Adam Silver. Like the as much basketball is being talked on sports talk. I don't remember it being this way when I grew up. Basketball is it's 100% at least 11 months out the year right now. That's nuts. Football season about to start, and all I see is summer league shit, dude. That's nuts. Shout out to Adam Silver, man. He's definitely doing his thing.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Shout out to my Pistons, playoff bound. Don't even worry about it. Action-packed episode coming up, man. We are revisiting a top 5 theme that we had last week, so we flipping it up, man. We're doing our top 5 current artists. Okay, last week was top 5 of all time, dead or alive. Y'all make sure y'all check that out if you missed it. This week, top 5 current. Simple, easy. I love it. Also, we'll be talking about a new Def Jam signee that's coming up, and Rick Ross's new Boss Up conference. You're gonna trip when you see how much it costs to attend this. But first, we're going to TDE, and we finally have news on the Kendrick Lamar album. He put out a message via a website that has one folder, and when you open the folder, it has a message from Kendrick himself. He said that his new album is on the way. It is coming soon. However, this will be his last album on TDE. There's a lot to unpack here, but I'm going to keep it simple with this first question. Is this the beginning of the end for TDE?
Is it the beginning of the end for TDE is a crazy question, but it does speak to the impact of Kendrick Lamar as an artist, how he's impacted the game with Damn, To Pimp a Butterfly. What's the first album? Good Kid, Mad City. Like the way that he's came out the gates, even Section 80 with those first 4 albums, you could see and you could say, well, man, if they lose this superstar, it's over for them. And in normal cases, I think that would be, but TDE has proven itself to have a formula that works. Schoolboy Q has a fan base. Ab-Soul has a fan base. SZA's a bona fide superstar. The youngins seem to like Isaiah Rashad as well.
How?
You don't. You're old. I said the youngins. The young people like him. You got Reason lurking in the background with the chopper. Dude definitely has bars, and it's a bittersweet situation to say, well, this does open the door for an artist like him. If you'll check out his last project, we had The Window Pane, I think it's the name of the song, where he was speaking to being behind Kendrick Lamar and being like the 12th man on the bench, essentially, at TDE. So I think this is good for both parties. It shows people, TDE, if you come over here, you can be as successful as Kendrick Lamar. We can build you up and you can go do your own thing and be a superstar. That's what you want. QC is going to have to deal with this with Migos and Lil Baby. Like, this happens to you. Cash Money dealt with this, well, almost if they had done played the game right with Lil Wayne. It happens if you're a smaller boutique label and you groom and you're good at your job. Those artists go on to do bigger and better things. And if you're good at what you do, like TDE is, you're perfectly fine.
TDE without Kendrick Lamar is the Cavaliers when LeBron left.
Oh, please.
Period. They about to be a lottery. They about to be in the lottery, bro.
Get out of here, bro.
Like, straight up. Now, and you mentioned it too. We're going to see this again when Migos leave QC, and that's coming. Don't worry about it. However, the difference is they have a Lil Baby to fall back on. They've got stars on their label, multiple ones. They were able, even though they had Migos as their flagship group / artist, they were still able to cultivate stars that can live in that space with City Girls, with Yachty for the youth, with Lil Baby for everybody right now because he's on fire. They were able to do that. You can't say that about TDE. TDE has not been able to make a star out of Isaiah Rashad. They haven't been able to make a star out of Reason, even though he dope as hell. So that's, and a little bit of blame has to go to TDE for Kendrick leaving, in my opinion, because of the way they release their music, bro. I don't know whose idea that is to have the schedule that they have, because we've often criticized them on this show, like, yo, where's TD? Where the new J-Rock at? Why are they so quiet? Why do they take so much time off in between projects? Like, whose idea is that? I don't think that was Kendrick's, and maybe he's tired of that and wants to do his own thing, which we saw when he started that PG Lang company. The writing was on the wall then. We should have slick seen it coming, that PG Lang Records was on the way and it'll be distributed by somebody, but that's definitely on the way. So I'm not surprised, but I do think that TDE is going to be left deflated after their MVP leaves.
You're wrong. You're wrong here in the sense, the reason that they were able to move that way, like you're talking about, Isaiah Rashad doesn't have to be a star right now. Reason doesn't have to be a star right now because I got Kendrick Lamar. Like I got this joker in my hand that I could play at any time and crush the game. So I can let an artist like Kendrick, like Isaiah Rashad get his legs up under him. It's cool that you don't like him yet. But he got a long
You listen to that album too. You listen to that album. Keep it real.
It's not good. It's not good. I don't like it. I don't like it. But that's the thing. TDE has a lot of rope to hang themselves with artists like Isaiah Rashad. Like, you ain't gotta like the next couple of artists actually, just because Kendrick Lamar was so successful. Like, he has paved the way for them to be able to say, hey, well, this may not work, but they still bred Kendrick Lamar. Schoolboy Q is a star. I'm not sure what you're talking about. He can hold Schoolboy Q in 2021 can hold a label. Like, he could be the flagship star of a label.
Can he?
Especially if you got SZA in the background singing. I promise you.
Nah, that's a star.
That is okay. Now, I'm not sitting here and trying to cap and say Ab Soul is going to be a star. I think he'll have his lane. And I also think that, like I said, this is opening up room for someone like Reason. He hasn't had to be a star yet. I do think he has the potential. So if Kendrick Lamar is leaving, that's going to open the door for Top and for Punch to pay attention to someone like Reason and give him that catering the same way they built up Schoolboy, the same way they built up Ab-Soul. And we ain't even mentioned J-Rock. Yeah. J-Rock is the one that he hasn't even tapped into the potential. And we talking about a man that has a Grammy nomination. Sure. Wait till he get back active and he start hopping on those Griselda beats. And people realize that it's a nigga from the West Coast that can rap his ass off still. Like, people trying to write the West Coast off right now.
That's true. Now, I'll say this, though, and we'll know this. We'll know it falls on one side of the coin. Either the supporting cast will come out of that Kendrick shadow and show what they really made of and show that they can carry a label, or we're going to see that it was Kendrick that was propping them up the whole time. It's one of them two scenarios.
Those are one of the two that's going to happen. I think the TDE has set the tone, though, to let niggas know, like, I think that you won't even get a nigga like Reason or anybody like that now that they have the opportunity. They know how hard they finna have to go because it was a nigga like Kendrick Lamar before in this seat.
Taking the shots.
Go hard, huh?
He was taking the shots. You can pass it to him in the crunch.
He gotta go hard. Now,
I will say this is very interesting though, and I noticed this listening back to some Kendrick this weekend. How many TDE features are on To Pimp a Butterfly?
0.
How many are on Damn?
0, probably.
There's one. It's Sakari, but that don't count.
Mm-hmm.
How many are on Good Kid, Mad City?
J-Rock is on there.
That's 1. Right. And how many are on Section 80? I'll answer. It's 1.
What's that mean?
4 albums.
What's that mean? I don't think that says any. That just speaks to their artistic value.
Was he really part of the team like that?
Absolutely. He's flying the flag. He ain't doing no Migos shit out here, looking over his contract and realize he got out of millions. It's just this is the proper this is how it should go. I find a artist, we get Section 80. I see how dope it is. I'm a boutique label, and boom, I turn him into Kendrick Lamar. 5 albums later, he's a super duper star. He's going on to bigger and better things because he's conquered this. This is how it should work. This is the perfect example. TDE should be trying for another artist to do this again.
We kiss that Black Hippie goodbye, though.
Yeah, that's over. Now that what you say now, I don't believe, like you said, there's no TDE artists on those previous albums, but now moving forward, I ain't no TDE shit. Y'all niggas can't call me for no verse. I'm not showing up for no pictures. It's love, but I'm fucking Kendrick Lamar now. He finna get in this Andre 3000 Kanye West bag. I think that's where we got K Dot headed. Like he finna get in that whole I'm over here in this universe bag.
Do we get that Kendrick album in 2021?
Yeah, it's gonna come before the end of the year out. I think we get it this year. I think we get it within the next 4 months.
We'll see.
You don't think it's gonna happen?
The clock is ticking. I'm surprised he's dropping another album. Hey, shout out to Kendrick though. He said he went this whole year without being having a phone. That's nuts.
I could see that.
And probably peaceful.
Kendrick Lamar with the ankle high pants on the beach with the like white shirt that got one button, hair everywhere. Nigga ain't shaved. They got the little porn beard and shit. No phone.
You gonna tell me he ain't seen the crate challenge? Like, come on, get the fuck out of here.
Nah, Kendrick Lamar ain't got no idea what that is.
Get the fuck out of here.
Kendrick Lamar had no idea what the crate challenge is. No idea.
That's nuts.
That is in fact nuts. And speaking of nuts, your man Rick Ross, the boss of them all, Big William Roberts, he announces his Boss Up Conference. The Boss Up Conference is going to be held here in Atlanta, Animal Brown. And if you were thinking about attending, you should get your checkbook, brother. $25,000 is the entry fee to get in the Boss Up Conference. The link is online. Just Google up Boss Up Conference. It'll tell you everything that comes with your 25 racks. My question to you is very simple, Animal Brown. Is $25,000 worth the investment to go to a Rick Ross business conference?
Now, just to put it into context, it's a 3-day conference. It's at his crib, which was genius, because he didn't have to pay a fee to book something out.
That's dope.
Special invited guests include Diddy, DJ Khaled, L.A. Reid, Snoop Dogg, Master P, and others. And for those 25 bands, you also get a promotional video with Ross, 15 seconds. You also get a personalized signed book, quarterly Zoom calls with Ross for 1 year, and you get, quote, access to Rick Ross's personal Rolodex of business contacts. Now, here's the thing. All that sounds great. This smells like a shuck to me. Do you remember the plot of Friday After Next? When the Christmas dudes stole their money and they couldn't afford to pay their rent. And so they had to throw a party at the end of the movie and had to get donations so they could pay their rent. This smells like a rent party to me, too. Ross is behind on that $1 zillion house, and he's finna shuck niggas out of 25 bands a piece to pay the rent, dude, to hold them out for the rest of the year. Ross, that's sick. Rose, that's disgusting, but I'm not mad at it. 25,000, bro, a head. That's bananas.
Now, just to be clear, you're saying it's bananas because of the price tag, but it's not a bad idea.
I think the idea is genius.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I do think it's dope. He has a book that's coming out called Today is a Good Day to Boss Up, which I believe if it ain't out now, it's out like next week. So it's all in tune with his get money entrepreneurship theme that he got going on. Of course, Richer Than I've Ever Been album is coming soon too. The price tag is nuts. It smells like a shuck. However, I would have to be in a very specific position to go fuck with this, but I would like to know if you think it's worth the investment.
That's a great question. I don't think it smells like a shuck though. And you and I both follow outside of this industry, other industries, sales, biz, like we Shark Tank, Profit, Grant Cardone, whatever. What was the name of that?
Undercover Billionaire.
Undercover Billionaire.
Yep.
In other industries, they hold conferences that charge you. Like I know Grant Cardone has a 10 times conference where he charges $10,000 a head to get in. So to answer the question, I don't think this is a bad idea. And I think it's a very interesting lane that Rick Ross is developing. Way back when Nipsey did the Blue Laces too, Rick Ross has been noted for his business acumen, building up Maybach Music, the franchise investment with Checkers and Wingstop. All that shit's dope. It ain't worth $25,000 though from Rick Ross.
With all due respect.
With all due respect, with every ounce of respect that I have for respect in my body, Rick Ross is just charging too much. And there is no, if we're going to go in Shark Tank mode, there is no, I'm not buying into a blueprint, right? Like I'm not like there's no proven thing that you're doing as Rick Ross that I can take and put into effect. Like Maybach Music Group is falling apart. Meek Mill is left. I'm not sure of Wale's situation. If I'm not trying to get into restaurant franchising, like I may not want to get into like how to own a Checkers or how to own a Wingstop, and I'm not knocking that as an entrepreneur. I understand it, but that may not be the way I want to go. So there is nothing else that I'm looking at in Rick Ross's profile other than those three things. If I were an entrepreneur, where I say, hey, this is worth it. Maybe if I'm there and I'm talking to P, maybe if I'm there and I get that photo up and I'm able to chop game with him on the Zoom quarterly, that's okay. I don't think that it's worth $50,000. 25,000, 25, excuse me.
Yeah.
The most important thing that you get from that, though, and I think that you could make worth it, is that it says you get access to his Rolodex. Yeah. Now, I'm not sure what that means.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like that's a really that's a slippery slope to be on when you're talking about, well, I'm gonna give you people's number. Imagine calling someone and be like, yeah, bro, I got your number from the Rick Ross Boss Up conference. I was calling you to pitch you on this idea. Doop, click hang up. Like you're getting hung up on. But if it were, I just heard Wendy Day say on our show and here recently on the interview, if you're trying to break an artist, or Coach K said this on the Breakfast Club, you're talking about $250,000. Yeah. Right. Now, if I'm a small label, if I'm in Arkansas and I got an artist and I'm pushing with a song, if I'm in Mississippi, if I'm in Kentucky, if I'm somewhere where like I know that I got a chance and a nice artist, I just want to get around people like Ross and people that know Rick Ross, this might be worth it. Like if I'm trying to push an artist and I'm cash money in their early days, if I'm an early QC, yeah, like this is a tax write-off. I can go write this shit out. If you're doing good business, if you right there on the cusp of the blow, for me and you, like I don't got no label. There's nothing there's nothing that I'm gonna get out of this other than a couple of pictures, maybe some good contacts that I would have to follow up on then. But if I was a small boutique label and some guy trying to get his music shit started, yeah, where do I sign? Where do I write this shit off at?
Here's the exception. And this is, well, real quick, this is why I think it's got Shuck written all over it. Number one, what you said, the contacts or the Rolodex, that's ambiguous. Like, what does that really mean?
I don't know what that, and like, how is that even set up? Like, is there a script where I call them and say, hey, I got your number from Rick Ross?
That's number one. Number two, special invited guest.
And yeah, you don't even say gonna be here.
If you were outside and you went to the club, you know what special invited guest means. That means if the motherfucker does not show up, they can go, well, you know, we just invited them. We didn't say they were going to be here. How many times have you seen that going to the club back in the day when I used to get out the house?
Yeah, that made your antennas rise up. But to be clear, though, this is a good idea for Rick Ross. This is his lane. He's just doing it wrong. Like, he should have started this. Like, this should have been
10,
35, now 35 to 5,000, but it's exclusive though. I'm only inviting a couple of niggas, and then they gonna go out next year and be like, man, that raw shit, man, I got my money's worth. Next year I'm charging 10 racks though. Like, you gotta build this shit up. You can't just hit a nigga over the head for 25 off the wham. Like, hey, like, especially not with what you're offering. Like, if you telling me that it's gonna be me and 15 other niggas and Puff gonna sit in the room and have a conversation with us, like, I ain't asking to pitch him or nothing, but he gonna have a conversation about, hey, you should take these approaches and this is what I did. And yeah, that may be worth it. But it's like you said, it's a lot of ambiguous shit on here where $50,000 and ambiguous don't go together.
I will say this though. I remember when P told the story of he had paid 25 bands to meet with Michael Jackson's lawyer to get a meeting. He said, I paid 25 racks just to get a meeting with the nigga. But in that meeting, he got the jewel
$1 million worth of game.
He got $1 million worth of game. He told him, hey, you need to get a distribution deal. You don't need to sign a label deal. He had never heard that before. And that obviously led to him getting 80-20 or 85-15, whatever it was. And then $300 million later, we have Master P. So I don't want people to think that they shouldn't invest money into what they're doing, but you got to be very, like, I'd have to have some type of product, bro.
You just have to have I don't even got to have a product. You just got to have a better approach. Because, like, even the meeting that you said with P, like, I know that I'm meeting with Michael Jackson's lawyer one-on-one. He may not like have long, but I'm going to talk to him. If I'm paying for a conference, then like you in mode, like you're presenting, you putting on, you ain't got time to really process what I'm telling you. Like, I don't want that interaction. I would pay 25 racks for the one-on-one interaction. Come on with it. My question to you is made me think. You, Animal Brown, today, if someone came to you and they were like, all right, I can get you in the Rock Nation brunch. You just got to pay for it.
Okay.
I ain't promise you no toast with Jay-Z or anything. Like, all I'm telling you is you give me this amount, you're getting in the door tomorrow. How much do you got for that ticket? Come on, I'm looking at a wall of shoes back there. Yep. How much is you investing in yourself? How much is that ticket worth?
I could probably do two. I do 2,000.
2 racks.
Yeah, I think
I do that. Cause VIP the complex con is goddamn somewhere in there. You gonna pay that? You may as well put on a suit and say you was at Rock Nation brunch. But I was gonna say about 25. I got 25.
That's about right.
Yeah, I do that for Rock Nation brunch. No promises. I'm just getting in the door and get to like, motherfucker, who the fuck is that nigga?
Yeah.
I don't know him.
But I'm telling you, but see that real quick, and then we're gonna move on. That this is smart on Ross' part because he is a businessman and he is an investor. So what better way to expand your portfolio of you, Ross, by having business niggas come to your
Brilliant. It's like a Shark Tank type thing. A nigga might hit him with a great idea. Like, and this is his next
I'm in that motherfucker
of his career. Like I say, it's a great move by Ross. It just needed to be hashed out a little bit more. Like this could be big. Like he could be, and like you said, we'll move on in a second, but he could be the first hip hop dude in this lane. The hip hop motivational speaker, Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins type. Like Ross definitely has that swag, and ain't nobody explored that yet. He could definitely do it.
BossUpConference.com. Y'all please check that out, man. 25 bands. Hey, let us know if you go. If you go, let us know if you, and it's in Atlanta. Pull up on me. I want.
Yeah, let's chop game before you go. I want to chop game with you too if you're going. If you're headed to that, holler at us, man. Shoot us an email. Let us know what's up.
Absolutely.
And also let us know what you pay to get in that Rock Nation brunch. Comment under the videos. Let us know what y'all paying to get in the all access Rock Nation brunch tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Cash apping for that.
Speaking of Jay-Z in Brooklyn, let's take it up top to New York. We talked about Def Jam, just got a new CEO, new president. He made his first big splash. A rapper by the name of HD from Brooklyn had his hit song Ghetto Sunday that came out last year. Sounds eerily similar to another major New York artist. Let's play this clip. Tell me if you can figure out who he sounds like.
Yeah. She know I'm that guy, show 'em what she likes. 80, none of the gas when I move through heights. Crown on as I penetrate sight. Seeing me, they go bananas for you monkeys, keep my clips on tight. That's my bitch, leave you lifeless. Enjoys having threesomes with a Pyrex. Here's a one-shot kill, that's a pirate. Your whole block was set up flaming cold, claiming my island thing. With my other bitch, better than my nephew's song. Why you like the government, driving around in special cars? And she got special needs, take you from your coach, had the referee. That's a better feel, oh you Gucci with this weaponry. That's a higher bill, on a tab, that's a clever fee. Niggas gotta match, but I break with more specialties. More vacations in foreign land, more elevations with clear water. You sort of plan B, I don't have.
That was HD, Def Jam's newest signing. If you have any type of hearing ability whatsoever, you heard it. He sounds exactly like Jay-Z. Speaking of Rock Nation, my question to you, bro, can this work at all? Artist sounding like Jay-Z in 2021.
You know what? 10 years ago, this been a terrible idea. Not saying that Jay-Z was more active, but we're getting more to a place where people not of our age, but younger than us recognize Jay-Z as Beyonce's husband or the guy that's over the halftime show with the NFL, whatever he's associated with now. He's becoming more popular for that than his music. So when I see someone, a headline on Hip Hop DX that says, hey, Def Jam signs the guy that signs just like Jay-Z, of course, like you said, I'm going to run to his hit song. How does this sound? Okay, this sounds okay. All right, what's next? Where's the project? Let me dive in and see what this dude is about. I'm going to Spotify. Oh, there's no project.
Yeah.
It's a whole page full of fucking singles, dude. Yeah. Singles that I don't want to hear. Songs that it sounds like, hey, you're trying to get a deal with Def Jam. Nothing where I can dive in and get any depth to who this dude HD is. Yeah. Right. So I think that the issue was not this can work. the issue goes back to what we were talking about on this show with Def Jam and where they are as a label. They're not sure how to promote artists in 2021. Like they could have got a whole, like this could have been a thing if he had music and projects out there, stuff on YouTube. Like I couldn't find anything that made me want to jump into this artist more. And I'm not sure if it's his fault, if it's Def Jam's fault, if he just said, whoever fault it is, it just didn't happen. So when you ask me, does it work? It could, if there were enough ammunition behind it to prepare for this press release. Like when I read this, when I go to Spotify, boom, I want everything there already, bro. Not 6 months from now, because he don't have the factor where I'm going to check back for this dude. Yeah, he sound like Jay-Z is cool. The music is cool. But once I go to Spotify this first time after I read it on Hip Hop DX and it ain't no project there, I'm not checking back in 3 months for a nigga that sound like Jay-Z to see if his project is on there. You should have did that when you had the press release come to Hip Hop DX, dude. So if it can work, yeah, absolutely. If you do it right, and Def Jam just isn't doing it right now.
Yeah, if you, when shit like this happens and I look you up and you ain't got no music, you like an industry plant. And you look like the Chuck.
It looked like you've been trying to sound like Jay-Z for the last 10 years.
Yeah, and you like a gimmick too. I will say this. Number one, his name is some slaw. HD, that's too hard to search. It's not Googleable at all.
Is there an underscore between it? Is it
What
HD
is it,
together?
bro?
Is there a space?
I'm looking for your music, bro, and Best Buy is coming up with TVs, bro. Like I can't, you got to have a more distinct name than HD. That's some slaw. Number two, I did listen to that song Ghetto Sunday. That's not what we play. What we played is just some freestyle shit he did on Instagram. This song Ghetto Sunday, which got about 5 million views, is actually a nice sounding record, though. Like it's actually a straight song. Yeah. It's slick, refreshing because he's rapping like Jay in Reasonable Doubt time.
New Jay, but it in 2021.
Exactly. So it's actually slick, refreshing. If he had a catalog, at least a little bit of something, and maybe a little story, I might can let the shit slide that he sound like Hov, because Hov don't rap like that no more. So it's not like when Designer came out rapping like Future was rapping at the same time. That was some slaw, and that was inexcusable. And fuck it, it's a new day, man. A lot of people sounded like, how many niggas grew up in Brooklyn don't sound like Jay-Z, dude? So, I mean, like, what are we talking about? So, but he told her he had a different story in that particular song. So it could work. I'm gonna give you another example. Eminem just signed Grip from out here in Atlanta. And I wasn't familiar with Grip, so I looked him up. He had 2 or 3 mixtapes, an EP, a video. He was hard. I'm like, damn, this nigga tough. So
dive in.
Now I'm looking forward to his next shit. I couldn't do that with HD, so that's the problem. Change the name. The name is trash. And put HD 24, fucking ASAP HD. Do something, nigga. Goddamn. Anything to spice it up. But this slick could work if done properly, and I'm surprised I'm even saying that, because niggas have tried it before. There was a nigga with Dipset that sounded like, or a nigga with Jim Jones that sounded like Hov.
Bird Gang shit. Here, Bird Gang. Purple City Bird
Gang.
Yeah,
somebody. Nigga was like, next. Like, nigga, stop. We know Gorilla Black sounded like Big. Stop. Fuck out of here. So it usually doesn't work, but this could have worked. They dropped the ball. We'll see how they bounce back.
Yeah, that wasn't. But yeah, I like you said, I think that was a great point. Saying if he had the stuff out there, man, because if he did, it could possibly work. But bro, you just need to put the music out. All right, man. Before we get to our top 5 right now in the game, is big man beef brewing in hip hop, the battle of the Titans. Literally, your man's Rod Wave, he threw a jab at fellow heavy set rapper Moray. Said the industry is trying to create more hymns because they couldn't get enough of them or something to that nature. He put the bar in the song. You guys go look it up. Does Rod Wave have a point? Is the industry trying to create the overrated song street rapper?
You know what? I'm gonna read the bar and then I'm gonna answer that question.
Please.
He said, in the song, he re-released his album Soulfly. He got a deluxe version, got a couple new joints on there. He's got a line on here. It says, labels used to look past me. Now they're trying to remake me. Grab a fat nigga out the trenches and replace me. Trying to duplicate me can't be. And of course, one of Moray's records is called Trenches. So actually, that was a slick line. I actually thought he was slick ripping that shit. I wasn't mad at that at all. However, this happens all the time when two people get in similar lanes. It happens every time another female rapper comes out with Nicki Minaj. It happens every time two people that are somewhat similar, which Rod Wave and Moray are two very similar. They not only are they both part of Husky Nation, shout out to Husky Nation, but they both have that soulful, low-key, like church singing vibes in their music. And if I'm Rod Wave and I have been trying to get on forever, and labels look past me, slam the door in my face, threw my demo in the trash, and I finally broke through, and the next day notice another nigga that slick looked like me doing the same thing, I would feel some type of way. And this wouldn't even be no shot to Moray. It's really a shot to the labels. Like, Moray, he's talented too, so do you get your bread, but look at the labels trying to do what they did with me. You know what I'm saying? When I tried to tell them that I was the move, and they back then didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. That's how I took that. So I'm not mad at them, man. Shout out to Rod Wave.
Yeah. Shout out to Rod Wave. Most successful people operate with a chip on their shoulder. Whatever it takes to motivate you. We watched The Last Dance. Michael Jordan, best basketball player in the world, could be tipped off by the smallest things. And I ain't comparing Rod Wave to Michael Jordan, the fat people, but I see
that would be me, motherfucker.
No, that's funny. Michael Jordan, the fat people. You should put that on a shirt. But like you said, I can understand his frustration with the label. But if I'm Moray, my nigga, leave me out of this. Don't snick diss me and put my song in here. You take your fat ass over there and you do what you do and let me do what I do. There's enough room for all of us. There can be more than one big rapper in the game, bro. Like, don't come looking for me. Would be my thing, and I would be eerily frustrated by it. Like, bro, I could understand your beef with the label, and then you go directly and you say that to them. Like, you ain't got to tie it in with me and make me a part of your art. And it goes to what you always hear people say about these rap niggas being weird. If I ain't never met you, if I ain't like, this is completely on some rap shit, if I'm Moray, I'm looking at Rod Wave like, my nigga, you a weirdo. I don't know you. Why the fuck are you like, why you have a problem with me blowing up, bro? You ain't got to throw my song and all of this shit in your stuff. But again, I get it. If I'm Rod Wave, I get the frustration. There are better ways that you can address it, though. Rod Wave is smart. He understands. I don't think we've ever seen a big boy beef in hip hop, so that he might be going that route. He know that beef sells. I would definitely tune in if Moray had the response. If it's turned fat niggas is funny. So it's turned into a back and forth with these two niggas. You can always depend on the good time when fat people are joking. No, and of course I'm being funny here too, but I would love to see the fat boys go at it.
Yeah, this would be.
I know funniest thing ever when I knowing you is when we were standing outside that time and the car rolled by, and you were talking to another overweight companion of yours of the opposite sex in the car, and they said two fat people can't fuck. That was the funniest, I think, since I've known you to happen.
And listen, that was the funniest shit ever to happen to me in my life. And I came to that epiphany that they were right. They weren't lying.
Two fat people can't fuck.
And I can't be mad at the facts, dude. I like that. You're right.
They can beef though, apparently.
Yeah, clearly.
Fat rappers can beef, but two fat people cannot fuck.
That's a fact. Put that in the Smithsonian. Listen, what else you can put in the Smithsonian is these top 5 that I'm about to run off of my favorite current personal rappers. I'm excited about this. Now, I kind of fucked up last time because I put 2 current rappers in my top 5 of all time, so I wasn't going to double back and use either one of them again.
I thought you were just going to alternate this time and put Drake, Kanye, Drake, Kanye, Drake, Kanye.
Listen, I thought about...
Did you almost do that?
Drizzy, Aubrey. I almost just did that because that's the real top 5. But I switched it up though, man. But go ahead. I want to hear yours first.
Before we get into that, do you want to talk about the beef? Is there anything new? Are you tired of this? Anything that you have to say about the Drake Kanye beef before we get to that? Because
it's almost getting to the point where it's turning into WWE. Like because I heard, and the only reason I say that, and I wouldn't be surprised if they took a picture together or hopped on a song. None of this would surprise me. If he came out to Chicago to the Donda thing, I wouldn't be surprised, bro, because it's building up to something like that. When you have a nigga like Consequence coming out, name dropping Drake, speaking on Kanye's behalf, trying to throw shots in the Consequence, bro. You got the 15th nigga on the bench, bro. You got the nigga that signed a 2-way contract on the bench to talk to the fucking logo. Man, bro, now I know something's up now because he can't be serious. So I think they just fucking around.
They're creating spectacle.
Exactly.
That's all it is. Like you say, the 48 laws of power breeders just create the spectacle, and it's going to be bigger because more people are going to pay attention. Ain't no beef. I don't think there's no thing.
Consequence.
I ain't mad at it. Like, do what y'all do. What I would say in a perspective to look at it, I think is very interesting. If I were a young rapper, like you always hear that thing we tell like if old niggas get out of the way, like bro, you Drake and you're Kanye West. If I'm a nigga like Lil Baby or Reason and the niggas that we talked about, like man, y'all niggas got to do all of this shit to generate fucking interest in your album. Like y'all niggas is the biggest people in the game. Y'all gonna fake beef. I would be frustrated if I were a young rapper. I ain't gonna lie, because this shit it's clogging up the lane. Like y'all niggas is holding everything up, in my opinion. Like everything that needs to happen in the summer of hip hop, y'all niggas is holding it up because one of y'all playing a fucking Cold War game with y'all albums.
The show is this Thursday in Chicago. Does that Donda drop Friday?
No,
I think it does.
I think he's gonna keep building to it.
I think he's doing. I think he did the Atlanta thing where he was born, and he did the Chicago thing where he was raised. And I think it's gonna come out. You do that for your album named after your mom, unless you do something in LA where she passed away. I don't know, but it's a theme to it. Though.
How long do you do this though? Like, if it doesn't, like you think it for sure it drops Friday. I don't think it drops Friday. Does he have another show? Like, can you go do LA and push it back again if he don't drop?
He like might. It depends. If Chicago is sold out, he might can do that twice, just like he did Atlanta.
That's nuts, man. Like, yeah, I did. I don't follow Kanye West as closely as many people do, and I'm not saying that. I understand how big this is. I'm not knocking it at all when people think that I'm hating, but I also think that you only get so many times where you do the pump fake. Like you are Kanye West, but you are also a 44-year-old Kanye West. It ain't 5 years ago, even. It ain't 2 years ago. So like you can do this, but you got to be careful when people like we even from 2-3 years ago, we're in a newer time where people stay keeping it moving, bro. Yeah. So like you like if motherfuckers ain't locked in like you, big fans, like okay, bro, like you got me 3 times, I'm out of here.
But I think if people realize the story behind it, it would make sense though.
Yeah, but a lot of people ain't like I didn't know that. You just
yeah.
There's a lot of people like me, and it's a lot of people like you as well. So we'll see who holds on and like can he hold that interest though. I'm mildly interested in it though. Like I enjoy the spectacle he's created around this. To know that he can still do it shows that hip hop is in a great place even through the pandemic. Like to be able to do that, I like it.
It's giving us something to talk about, man. And speaking of something to talk about, our top 5 right this very second. Give me one of your top 5s, man. Who you got on the list?
This is a layup. First one, I'll start out the gate with the haymaker. Everybody knows this is my guy. Called him on here early. Said that last week. Gonna say it every time we bring his name up. The hottest rapper in the game right now, Lil Baby. Hands down. Top 5. Easy. Don't even deserve it. Just yes, and we can keep it moving.
You got lucky. You called him after a Drake feature, which really doesn't count. Slick.
It wasn't after the Drake feature. This was you're trying to muddy the waters here on my expertise in picking out stars. You're trying to muddy the water. This was before the Drake feature. This was the first time that he was on Breakfast Club with P, and P was trying to pump. That's what this was. Trying to muddy the waters here. Clear, crystal clear hip hop perspective over here. Who is number 1 on your list?
I don't have him on here. So
that's fucking nuts.
He's not.
That is nuts.
He's not in my top 5 favorite rappers at all.
Wow.
Or who I think is top 5 right now. Who is though, despite having been on a milk carton these last 4 years, is Kendrick.
Low keys.
Kendrick Lamar is absolutely on my list. Still,
really?
Even with the delays and the pump fakes and all of the other shit that he got going on, he ain't got a phone. I've been tweeting where's Kendrick Lamar for the last 3 years. That nigga ain't even seen it. I feel some type of way now because he ain't had no phone the whole time.
That's funny.
I have been looking for this music. I am extremely interested to hear what it sounds like. I was extremely let down by To Pimp a Butterfly, but that's only because of the high hopes and the high expectations that I have set for him. I think outside of that, he has damn near flawless projects. Outside of that, even when he cooked on the Black Panther soundtrack, he did his thing. So I am a huge Kendrick Lamar fan, despite what some people may say. I know I fuck around and give him a hard time for To Pimp a Butterfly because it wasn't my vibe, but don't get it twisted. He's a top tier rapper, Hall of Fame, first ballot if he stopped today. So Kendrick Lamar is definitely the first person on my list.
Cap.
What?
Much as you hate on Kendrick Lamar, you just put him on your list so you wouldn't have to put Lil Baby on there. That's it.
Pimp Butterfly is the only thing I don't like. It's only miss.
You've been hating on Kendrick Lamar verses. You hated that Jeezy verse with him and J. Cole on there.
He didn't rap.
Yeah, you see, you've been hating like that since before To Pimp a Butterfly.
Nigga was scared. I don't like scared Kendrick.
I'm just saying that's cap. I think that's cap.
I like Control Kendrick, man. Shit.
That was 8 years ago. We need to do biggest hip hop songs and see what that make it.
For sure. Who else you got?
All right, next man who I have on my list, another layup. This guy, he's done a complete transformation from when we first seen him, and then post 2014 Forest Hills Drive. J. Cole I'm always excited to hear what he drops. I think that he has perfectly put together a career of two different rappers. And that's a sight to see. We seen him as a young cub coming in the game, trying to be like, maybe I would say a Jay-Z, the flashy, prototypical rapper. And now we see the space that he's in and the gems that he drops, and what he's grown into is just being J. Cole. I'm not even sure how to describe the type of rapper that he is now, other than introspective, maybe Outkast or something of that nature. But just seeing those two extreme differences shows to his versatility. And don't get it fucked up, he can still entertain you while giving you gems and getting deep with the medicine and the candy, mixing it together. I love J. Cole. I'm always excited when he has verses, projects. So he's definitely on the list for me.
Absolutely. I've got him on my list too. Cole, one of the leaders of this generation, up there with Drake, up there with Kendrick. Arguably album of the year this year. He's building up his team, nice compilation. He's got the festivals. He's working inside and out the booth. Man, I'm a big fan. And like you said, 2014 was the turning point. I rock with him before that, though. I thought his mixtapes were incredible. I wasn't mad at the debut album. A lot of people were, like, that ain't really him. I get it, but I didn't mind it. Born Sinner was okay, but 2014 was really the fork in the road where he chose the right direction. And ever since then, he's been on autopilot in a good way. But autopilot was still hungry, though. Like, this new album, he was starving on it. At least it sounded like it. And so that's why I fuck with J. Cole. He's gotten better since he started, and he was already nice as fuck. So now he's just as, if not better than he was, and he's in his prime right now. So I'm definitely counting me in with the J. Cole. I got him on my list too.
Nice.
I guess I'll kick it in.
Yeah.
My third person would be my guy whose flag I have been waving for the last God knows how long. Freddie Gangsta Gibbs is easily a top 5 rapper right now. He is on a crazy win streak. The compilation projects, the projects he's done with Madlib, the joints he did with Alchemist, the new one that he got coming out this year. Listen, he's already saying this album of the year. Don't even worry about it. The producers that he's gotten in the building, he just needed to find his sound. That's all he needed to do, because he experimented with Jeezy and CTE, and that wasn't really. He can do that, but then you sound like everybody else. He needed to find his lane. I was reading an interview with Bday James and Alchemist. They did like a co-interview together, and he talks about how they kind of met each other, and like their sound and how it meshed, and how Bday had been doing his thing up and on a certain level, but it really took off when he met his producer.
Right.
His sound, his lane. That's what happened, in my opinion, with Freddie Gibbs. He found his lane, and it's over with, nigga. The ceiling is the floor, or whatever the fuck Mike said. He's out of here. He's a great personality on Instagram, on social media. He's got that charisma. Dude is a star, in my opinion, and he's my top 5 without question. And yours too. Go ahead.
Unfortunately not.
Oh my God.
Ceiling is the floor for him. Freddie Gibbs is a good artist. I think he's a great rapper. This is as far as you go, though. And it's got to do with the point that you made about his sound. There is no, I don't know if crossover is the right word anymore, but there is no commercial sound like as big as Freddie Gibbs gets. This is it, and it's not a knock to him. He's had a great career, but like he's in movies and TV shows.
That's
Like,
true.
he's done all of that. Like, but he just hasn't had the traction to where you cross over and he would be a household name. I don't see that in his future. But again, you don't have to be that to have a successful rap career. He is a 100% great rapper right now, not top five though. Not top five at all. Speaking of rappers that are top five, though, seen him on the NFL commercial. He's starting to garner a lot of traction, even with a style that you usually don't see in the mainstream, similar to what you're saying with Freddie Gibbs. Benny the Butcher. Benny the fucking Butcher. The Butcher's coming. If you've been listening to this show a while, you know we've been talking about Griselda even before the more mainstream success that they've seen currently, going all the way back to the great rest in peace Combat Jack. I remember when he was talking about these guys. The growth in their sound from where they were then with the extreme New York boom bop, talking about Griselda, to where they are now, it's amazing. And Benny continues to get better. Had my album of the year last year. He's starting to venture out more into the pop commercially songs. Unfortunately, that plays a lot into being top five. Can you cross over? How many people are going to hear about who you are? And I think that Benny is one of the few that can cross over, make those hits, and still give you bars. Like, it ain't a lot of niggas in the game that could go toe for him when we're talking about rapping. Benny the Butcher is definitely top five.
I have him on mine too. Not even gonna hold you. I thought his album last year was classic.
Facts.
Bro, like he's been cooking. He's been on the wave for a while. Conway started off as my favorite Griselda member. I ain't gonna lie, Benny the Butcher unlapped him, and that's no knock to Conway because his album was stupid too. But Benny, he's just on another level, bro. He's body bagging every feature. He's rapping like he done escaped the fucking war zone and he not going back, dude. Like this nigga is focused on his bars when he's spitting, and I feel it in every line. And he doesn't have a typical rhyme pattern. Like he doesn't rap with regular similes and metaphors. Like that's why I like about him. He doesn't just say da 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 like XYZ, da 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 like XYZ. Like he's has creative punchlines, and it kind of keeps you on your feet. You really don't know what he's about to say. That's why I fuck with him. And that's why I got him on my list, man. Like, dude, he's been churning out great projects. I know this last project was okay that he just dropped about a week or two ago. I'm hearing that there may be some old throwaways or whatnot, but I still rock with it. And his verse on Bday James project might be one of my favorite verses this year. So I can't wait to see what he does for a follow-up. But I'm looking forward to it, man. He dope as hell. I'm so glad that them niggas got on, however long it took them, because they damn near our age. But nigga, they here though, and they here to stay.
Facts. They definitely here to say. Who you got next on your list?
My last fifth person is a slick cheat code though. Low key, slick cheat code. I have Nipsey Hussle. Even though he's not here, I understand that. But I am a huge Nipsey Hussle fan. I still have him in my top five right now. Victory Lap, that's a classic as well. I'm trying. Everybody I named on here has a classic. Everybody in my top five has a classic record, and I feel like you have to have
Except
that.
Freddie Gibbs.
You crazy as fuck. You serious?
Except Freddie Gibbs. Nigga. We can end the suspense too, because I thought that this was I thought I was coming out of left field by saying this one, but Dipsy was 5 for me too.
Really?
I tried to save it for last and everything.
Killed you. Stepped all on your little way.
Stole all my thunder, dude. I was like, Nipsey. No, this nigga's not gonna pick Nipsey in his top 5 now since he's passed. But yeah, that's definitely killing the suspense. I mean, and it speaks to the impact though. Like, we haven't spoken about these lists. We didn't get together and say, hey, well, this person should be here. We just wanted to do them genuinely, and it shows something to the impact that Nipsey had for both of us to have him on the list. And he's passed. Like, that victory lap, I promise you, and this is no cap, I still listen to it every day. Yeah. Especially like Blue Laces too. Like, that's my get up in the morning, brush my teeth song. Yeah. Like, that does it for me when I'm feeling any type of way to get me back in my zone. And that whole album in particular, like, it was perfect for like what we're going to remember Nipsey as, what we knew him as before he passed. It was just like the perfect, I don't know, like time capsule of a guy that we remember. And it may be because he passed and we lost him early, but I know this is this is the way that I can like still kind of hear him. As cliche as that sounds, like I can put this in, and this album is so Nipsey Hussle that it almost feels like, oh, he's still living out in Crenshaw. I can still pull up to the store. That's how dope this album is and how much it represents Nipsey Hussle.
And let's be clear, I'm still listening to Mailbox Money. I'm still listening to Crenshaw. I'm still listening to Bullets I Got a Name Free. Let's be very clear.
Yeah, this is a pro Nipsey Hussle podcast. Shout out to the people, man. It really meant a lot to me when we did that episode, and people like, bro, I didn't even know who Nipsey Hussle was till I started listening to y'all.
Yeah,
and then and that's how it usually goes when you put people on his music, and then they check out a couple of interviews. It's like, oh, I'm a fan. Yep. I'm a fan right now today. I don't need to find nothing else out. So yeah, shout out to those people, man, that found out about Nip through the podcast.
How often does your list change though? Is it pretty much for the last year or so? That's pretty much who your 5 have been.
Current rappers, when I hear someone new and it's refreshing, that has a new voice that I think that hasn't been explored before, and I would say like I can't put him on my list right now, but I'm very excited about it, and I mentioned him before. It's ESTG.
Yeah.
The approach stands out to me a lot. Like there's a lot of niggas talking about the things that he talk about, and that's great. But there's a lot of people that try to glorify it more than he does. Like I think it was the reason that phone call that he had with Jay-Z kind of went viral when Jay-Z was like, "Don't bring your ghostwriter up here like when you come." I think it speaks to Jay-Z knowing how genuine that is. Like Jay-Z coming, making Reasonable Doubt, knowing what it took to put those bars and like really having to be out there in their life. You listen to a nigga like ESTG and you Jay-Z, like, oh, okay, he knows something. Like this nigga ain't see his homeboy do it or like have somebody sitting right there with him and they tell him, no, say it like this. Now he actually lived through it. And that goes a long way. So when you talk about list changing, when I see people like him, I love their new energy. 42 Doug is another one. Vince Staples, every now and then, especially since his last album drops in there. And another thing, going back to ESTG, if you haven't seen, what is it, Genius, the people that do the lyrics?
Yeah, for sure.
They do the interviews where they ask you about the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Check out ESTG's. It was great. They ask him like, they were talking, you know how it's clearly what he's talking about in the songs, right? Like it's clear what he's talking about. They asked him on some Vlad shit, and he had the greatest answers that I've ever heard. Like, look that up when we get done. If you guys haven't seen it, look it up. It is really good, and it just speaks to the genuine person that he is and the realness behind his music. It was really dope.
Yeah, man, I rock with that ESTG project too, man. I like it a lot, actually. I listen to that on the way to the gym. That shit get me turned up. I fuck with it.
How often does yours change?
Man, mine pretty much in stone for this last year. Well, I'll take that. Well, because Kendrick hasn't dropped.
What about Travis Scott?
I wouldn't have him in my top. I think he makes good music, though.
Yeah, he don't get into your top 5. It's too young.
Nah, but he's uber popular. He's probably the most popular, or obviously one of the most popular. But I mean, I like Big Sean, you know what I'm saying? But it's the last album was a little forgettable, but, so it comes and it goes. I'll probably swap out one, you know what I'm saying, every so often. But for the most part, that's the rotation right there, though. Especially when they're current and they're putting out projects and they're active.
Yeah.
Easy. Y'all let us know who y'all top 5 favorite current rappers are. Let us know. Facebook, find the Rap Chat group, search that, let us know. It's time for some wins and some losses. We have a W to the luxury brand Bodega Veneta. Man, look, they're sold out due to that name drop on the Big Dog record, Be a Whole Lot of Money featuring Nicki Minaj. Hey, that's all it takes, man, is to get name recognition on a high record and your shit is off the shelves, buddy.
How you feel about that song? You like it?
That song hard. That song banging right there, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Barbia, that shit hard. That's a smash.
That's a fucking hit.
Ain't no question. That shit catches like a whole lot of money.
A whole lot of money. It's like that's the perfect Instagram, TikTok. Like it, boom, there you want it, you got it. That's it.
We have an L to hand out. That was quick on the W's. We have an L to hand out to Drakeo the Ruler. He was arrested after his Uber was pulled over for having dark tints. His Uber gets pulled over. They pull up. He got some shit on his record. They're like, oh, you coming with us. You know how hot I would be if I got arrested because my Uber got pulled over?
On Instagram Live, I would be uber upset. But on Ting, They had apparently been following. They had apparently been following him because he beat like a murder case not too long ago, and he's heavily affiliated in gang activity in LA, allegedly.
Sure.
So they had apparently been following him. This was like an early Sunday morning. The nigga hopped in the Uber and they pulled him over and they locked him up. I think he's out on bail now, but man, that's disgusting.
It is
livid.
I heard about him earlier this year. He did a joint with Drake. He had
Drake,
a
he did a Drake
feature this year.
Yeah.
And
Can't be locking me up in no fucking Uber, nigga. I just did a song with Drake. Nigga, y'all know who I am, nigga.
Put some respect on my name, man.
Obviously not.
One more W to hand out to Young Thug's manager, or Young Thug, depending on how you look at it. For his birthday, Young Thug manager gifted Thug 100 acres for his birthday. I can't think of a better birthday gift. Keep it real.
Fire, love it. I seen a picture on Instagram as well. I love Young Thug, man, and as far as his approach to the game, very genuine. His birthday just passed. Happy belated birthday to him. I'm excited to see what he turns this into.
That was a genius gift. Like if you think, what do you give the person that has everything? That's the answer right there.
100 acres of land will always cut it. You 1,000,000% right about that.
We have On Deckers of the Week. We're going to YouTube. Shout out to the new subscribers on YouTube. We got a couple. I'm gonna name drop them. Shout out to Trey9Mo. All right, shout out to you. Shout out to Kurt Talley. And shout out to, man, these names, I can't remember. God damn. L Fletcher 92. Those are 3 of the latest subscribers to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/OndeckTV podcast. Make sure you click that, hit the like button, leave a comment, let us know your top 5, man. We appreciate it. What you got?
My put on is for you and the rest of the NBA fans. I want to ruin your life. There's a new pod. Well, it's not new. This is pretty old, but it's called Whistleblower. It's about Tim Donaghy.
Yeah.
Did you listen to this?
Nah, but I'm familiar with it.
Oh my, bro. I listened to 10 episodes in 2 days of this. It put out by Tenderfoot. We know some guys that work with him. Shout out to the Tenderfoot Media Group. Man, but this is a Whistleblower podcast about Tim Donaghy and reffing in the NBA and how the games are set up. It is absolute fire. It'll make you look at it make you look at the NBA in a totally different way, especially hearing it from the people that are talking about it. Rasheed Wallace was on there, Bonzi Webb, man, that shit is good. Yeah. I definitely want to know what you think, being an avid NBA fan. I'm more of a fair weather NBA fan, so it really made me fall back off of it for a while. But check this out, man. If you guys follow the NBA, it's called Whistleblower. It's a Tenderfoot Media production, a podcast about the scandal when he was betting on the NBA. Man, that shit is really good.
I can see that. That's a crazy story.
Oh my God, that shit is fucking great, dude.
I can definitely see that, man. Make sure you guys subscribe to our Patreon too, man. Patreon.com/Realville. We have a brand new review up right now. Jim Jones' debut album. Me and my guy Jay Hove.
On my way to church.
Yeah, we had a good time, man. On my way to church with that first Jimmy Jones. That link is also in the description. We appreciate y'all for tapping in. We will see y'all next week. Hopefully, we'll be reviewing that Donda. Actually, fuck that. We're reviewing that Donda because it'll be out, God damn it. You're welcome. Let's get it.